All right, welcome back. We're here for another interview following the Pop-Tarts Crazy Good Team of the Week award, and we couldn't be more excited to be joined by Coach David Braun, or I should say, Dan and Susan Jones family head football coach David Braun from Northwestern University. Coach, thank you so much for joining us.
No, thanks for having me.
Your team, of course, recognized by the Football Writers Association of America for the 22-21 win at Penn State this past weekend. A huge win for the program, for the team. It's always great to go on the road and get a win like that. Can you just kind of give me an overview of, what's that win mean to you and your team as you look ahead and try to get things rolling in the second half of the season?
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for us to, understand that this team is built and capable of going on the road in the Big Ten uh, and winning games on the road. The Big Ten is any given Saturday. You better bring your best every week, especially on the road, especially at a place like Penn State, hostile environment against a very talented football team. And I think it's an opportunity for us to, acknowledge that this team's prepared for that type of arena. Had to overcome some adversity along the way, but really proud of the way that our guys responded through adversity and found a way to close things out in the fourth quarter. Really excited that we've now shifted our focus to Purdue and focused on a great week of preparation.
So, I know you said you shifted your focus to Purdue. I'm going to ask you a couple questions about Saturday if I can. 11 minutes left in the game. Penn State takes a 5-point lead at home. What are you telling your team before they take the field? It ends up being a 6-minute, 75-yard drive that you execute to take the lead. What was your message before they ran out for that drive?
Yeah, it was take a breath and focus on the next play. I think our offense had proven throughout the game that we were finding ways to be efficient both in the run game and in the pass game. Felt like we were executing at a high level. And that drive that our offense was able to put together was full of examples of us just continuing to play our brand of football, establishing the line of scrimmage, finding efficiency in the run game, and then to see the connection between Preston Stone and our wide receivers, and specifically Griffin Wilde on that drive, was awesome. And ultimately, those are things that we see out of that group, every single week in practice. And really fun to see it on full display. Ultimately, Preston Stone has proven that dude is a winner, and he's at his best in those moments.
Now, it seemed like even going back another week further, it seemed like the offense really opened up at homecoming against ULM. How did that performance help the team maybe build some confidence going into Happy Valley?
Yeah, no, I think it was huge. The ULM game ultimately was the first time all year that we put together a four-quarter performance. And not that it was perfect, but there was consistency throughout the entire game where we were finding rhythm in all three phases and putting a complete game together. We had challenged our team post UCLA. When you got a team on the ropes, you got a team on their heels, you got to find a way to put them away. And you may not always be in that position, but against ULM, we were able to put those guys away in the fourth quarter. And there was certainly a level of confidence going into the Penn State prep. I thought our guys did a great job throughout the week of Penn State preparation of understanding and acknowledging they had put together a good game against ULM, but not allowing comfort to seep in like they thought they had it all figured out. It was an urgent week of practice, physical. Our guys did a great job of preparing.
You talk about closing things out, and obviously just scoring to take the lead against Penn State wasn't enough. You still had 5 minutes left after Caleb scored that you had to hold off a really good team. What was your message to the defense? I assume it was very similar to what you gave to the offense as they walked out, but what did you say to them to kind of motivate them going into those final 6 minutes?
Absolutely. I mean, ultimately, like these are the moments that we look forward to on the defensive side of the ball. An opportunity with the lead in the fourth quarter to go get the ball back for our offense, and for us to, I believe it was a 4-and-out. To have a great tackle, I believe, by Braden Turner out on the perimeter. First down turned into second down. A huge play by Mac Uline and Carmine Bastone. With Drew Aller scrambling. Definitely devastated for Drew and praying for him and his recovery. And then that transition into a fourth down where similar situation, Najee Story and Aiden Hubbard drops into coverage and they come down with great leverage and are selling out to stop them short of the yard to gain. Big time play. It was As a defense, those are the opportunities you're looking for.
Yeah, there was a clip I saw after the game of you and your AD, Mark Jackson, who, kind of embracing sharing a moment in the end zone. It's not often that not every coach gets to share a moment like that with the boss, especially a fairly new boss. I kind of take me back to that embrace. What was going on there? What were you guys? Take me inside the hug.
Yeah, I think that's ultimately just like, probably the first time that people on the outside, have seen the relationship that is there with Mark and I. But ultimately, like that's two guys that are like hyper competitive, love Northwestern, are working their butts off to just find a way in this new landscape to position ourselves for sustained success within this athletic department, and specifically for me within our football program. That like I know that Mark Jackson's got my back every single day, and there's alignment. That guy's motor, his passion for this place, his passion, his competitive spirit, and that's just two guys that are fired up about a Cats win on the road. That in a lot of ways, Mark is the ultimate athletic director, but he understands. He's been inside the program at USC working with football. He's a football guy. He gets it. Those are two football dudes that just get it, that are fired up about a big time win for the Cats.
I'll close with this. Another certainly a football dude, if you will. Coach Barnett comes up a lot when you talk about Northwestern and the program, and even some of the motivation that you and your team take in from week to week. I know you talked with I think with Matt Fortuna after the game this weekend, and you had invoked some Coach Barnett's messaging. Can you speak a little bit to that? And I think you're also honoring the Rose Bowl team this coming weekend with Purdue coming in. Can you just speak a little bit to Coach Barnett's impact and how it even motivates your team today?
Yeah, it's one of those things like, for me personally, I will never forget watching that 95 team. I'll never forget watching that 95 team beat Notre Dame, watching that team play in the Rose Bowl against USC. Shoot, the following year, Coach Barnett still coaching the Cats, at Camp Randall in an epic comeback against Wisconsin. I'm just a little guy, but ever since I got here, it's been fun to really learn about not only what Coach Barnett accomplished on the field, but how he did it. And, I think any good program has a reverence for those that have come before them. And that's something that we don't want to lose sight of. I mean, what that team, that 95 team accomplished, what they meant to college football, what they meant to this university is something that will never get lost on us. And for me not to think that I can learn a tremendous amount of from a person like Coach Barnett and all of that he's accomplished in this profession would be silly of me. So, I mean, there are plenty of, whether it be phrases or processes that I've either heard of, from whoever it may be, that we still utilize in this program to this day.
You mentioned that win at Notre Dame. They also won at Michigan that year. So a big road win can go a long way for a team. Not necessarily trying to draw direct comparisons, but what does a big road win, help to build the kind of culture you're looking to build at Northwestern?
Yeah, I think it just proves to ourselves that ultimately, any arena, any opponent, if we're at our best and we do a great job of preparing and then communicating and playing as one team that has everybody on the same page, we can compete with and beat anybody in the country. If we don't have a great week of preparation and we're not all on the same page and we're not playing unified football, then there's no one that can't beat us. But to be able to go into Penn State, beat a very talented football team, and come home with a win is certainly something to build upon, but it'll only be built upon as if we continue to focus on what got us here, and that's focusing on just taking it one day at a time.
Well, Coach Braun, this has been really wonderful catching up with you. I thank you again so much for the time. Congratulations on a great win and the Pop-Tarts Crazy Good Team of the Week award. I believe there will be several dozen boxes of Pop-Tarts making their way to the facility sooner than later here. So if you have any requests, now's the time to put it in.
Let's go. I'll get that to the staff. There's going to be a lot of smiling faces when they get that news. So that's awesome. Appreciate you. This is appreciate the honor and fired up. There's going to be some Pop-Tarts around the facility. I love it.
We're always happy to help. Thanks again, Coach. Good luck at practice, and as you face Purdue this week, we'll look forward to catching with you down the line.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, Sam.